Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Dr. Pardos, a speech language pathologist and owner of Augmentability Speech Therapy. On this channel, we talk all things or a lot of things: AAC, augmentative and alternative communication, disability advocacy, and just other things that are fun. Today we are busting myths. So today I am starting with 5 myths I am going to cover about AAC. I will have links to resources about all of these myths linked down below, because you know your girl loves evidence-based practice and I wouldn't share anything if it wasn't evidence-based, unless it was like my opinion about crochet or Taylor Swift's album. Okay, anyway, let's get into it. Myth 1. Somebody can be too cognitively impaired to use an AAC. This is false. Although development of cognition and language can co-occur, cognition is not a prerequisite to language. So if somebody's like, oh, you know, they have really high support needs, they'll never be able to communicate. Oh, they because of their support needs are so high, like they'll never pay attention to an AAC. They don't need that. They would never be able to understand it. Things like that are false, false, false. There is no cognitive prerequisite to using AAC. It is all about building those language skills. So if somebody does have high support needs and needs a lot of help with their activities of daily living due to cognition, that doesn't mean they cannot communicate. And I'm sure they're communicating all the time, just maybe not with their words. So giving them an AAC device or any form of AAC will really help communicate. So myth 1, false. Myth 2 is that if somebody can get their basic needs met, they don't need AAC. This is false. I want all of you to think about everything that you have talked about today. Did you just say, I need the bathroom, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm tired, I need my medicine? Or did you say, hey, what's up? Did you tell somebody about your day? Did you talk about a TV series? Did you talk about an album that just came out that you're excited to listen to? There's so many things that we talk about. And by saying, oh, well, this person can get their basic needs met, that's such a small portion of communication. And if all we could talk about was our basic needs, that wouldn't be a very enriching life. So by introducing AAC to communicate thoughts, feelings, ideas, jokes, all of the other wonderful things that we communicate about, it's very important. Myth 3. Is that going to impact their speech development? There is a big myth that because we introduce AAC, that person or that child is only going to want to use their AAC and they're not going to want to learn to talk or try to talk. That is so false. First, everybody's going to want to communicate the fastest way possible. It's just what people want to do. Like, it's efficiency. You just want to say, I want that, or how are you, instead of taking the time that it takes to write that out or find those words on an AAC. It just takes more time. People like being efficient. And research also shows us that it literally never hurts. It never hurts communication. So in studies, the vast majority of people who are introduced to AAC benefited from it, and it increased their verbal output, their ability to talk. It completely supported their ability to talk. Some people, a much smaller amount, nothing happened. There wasn't an increase, but it also didn't decrease. It didn't hurt them. And 0% got worse. Nobody's speech, nobody's ability to talk got worse with AAC. And why is this? Well, if you think of AAC and how we learn language, which is big, and we won't get into all of that right now, but if you have a device and you're able to search the word, or you see the picture and then you see the word and you press that and then it pops up again and then you hear it and then you press it and you hear it again, there's so much language input and so much modeling that happens from an AAC device. They are doing it and they're hearing it themselves and doing it themselves. And it can be like a liberatory way to develop communication and verbal speech. So yeah, that myth, not true, will never, ever, ever, ever hurt somebody's ability to talk. Myth 4. People don't need AACs if they have some speech. Ugh, so false. I always like to bring up what AAC stands for when people bring up this myth. Augmentative, which is like adding, and alternative, which is substituting communication. So people tend to think of the alternative portion, that this is completely substituting people's ability to speak. False. But a lot of times people just need help with augmenting their communication. Maybe they can say, I want the bathroom. I want a cookie. I need sleep. Maybe people can communicate those basic wants and needs, but are they able to communicate all of those other wonderful things that people enjoy communicating about and want to communicate about? Not always. So it's helpful, even if people have some speech, to have this device that it can be augmented. Myth 5. So, myth 5 is that AACs will fix all communication difficulties. This is false. I wish AAC was like a magic wand and could fix every communication difficulty that somebody has, but it's just not going to do that for a variety of reasons. AAC is super wonderful and can give people the tool to communicate in so many ways, which is so empowering. But also, if they have apraxia, which is a motor speech disorder, a disorder of planning, of being able to plan how to move your mouth when you're talking, a device isn't going to solve that. If you have a reduced vocabulary and you still need to learn a lot of words, you need to learn those words. Like, just the device isn't automatically gonna help you know all those words. Just like if you are learning a different language, somebody could give you a piece of paper with all these words and pictures on them, and you're like, what? I'm not gonna know that, So it's not gonna fix everything. With that said, AAC is a very empowering and liberatory tool that helps so many people communicate. So although it does not fix everything, nothing fixes everything, unfortunately, but it is an incredible tool. So those are the 5 myths we covered today, and there are many more AAC myths that I will cover. Have you all heard of any AAC myths that I haven't covered so far? If you have, put them down below in the chat. Let me know what myths you've heard of and if you think they are true or false. I mean, I guess if they're a myth, they're probably going to be false. But what are some AAC myths that you've heard? Or some thoughts of, what you think AAC might be, and you're not sure if that's true or not. You can also put that in the chat or in the comments, and we will address that. So thank you so much for watching this video and busting 5 AAC myths with me. If you could like and subscribe so that more of the world and YouTube sphere can learn about AAC and speech and language. All right, have a wonderful day.